Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Faces, issue 44, Putting the Moon in Moon Harbor. On the cover, we see a pulled back shot showing the entirety of Moon Harbor. In the middle of the city, we can see a tall building shooting a beam from its tip into space. At the end of that beam, we see the moon, pulling ominously close to the planet. We turn the page and our story begins. So this issue starts a couple weeks after the last issue and Rider's leaving the team. In that time, what have you all been up to? Like each of you to give me like a couple panels of something you've been doing in the meantime that's gone wrong. Lighthammer, do you want to start?
Nothing that I've ever done has ever gone wrong, and I think everyone listening to this podcast knows that. So anyway, when you say goes wrong, like in specifics, like just something that failed epically, was there a villain interruption? Is there any like specific flavor of going wrong?
Just as long, things can end up okay, just as long as there is some good escalation in there. Okay, how about this? Something that didn't go smooth, I guess, is a better explanation.
So just like in general, did not go smoothly.
Yeah.
I've been kind of letting my followers down appreciably a lot. There's been a lot of like me doing the leaderly things, which is not necessarily the most interesting heroic things. So I had like a whole initiative to like win my leadership back, which included like a whole like adopt a puppy day. And I think that something happened and all of the puppies like got out of the enclosure where like people were like picking them up and visiting them. And we ended up like chasing puppies around the city for far longer than we should.
Fantastic. We get like several panels of that. And I think in the background of those, like we see this large skyscraper that has recently begun construction in the middle of the city. Who wants to throw out another thing that didn't go super smooth in these last couple weeks?
Brian has been trying to recreate Isaac. It just not quite the same. Anything he makes, just he can't get it the way that it was before. He tells it to go like get a carton of milk, and it unplugs the refrigerator and brings it to him.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I think like out the windows of that, we see that same skyscraper significantly further along in construction. And I think at this point we see it's like the tallest building in Moon Harbor. Inky, what do you got?
I think there's 3 panels. The first panel is Enki making a giant mess of like a bank robbery or something with a bunch of vines and stuff. And we see Greg the Stoic, Enki's big white stag, just shaking his head, going no. And then the second panel is Enki eating ice cream with a villain at the ice cream place. And again, there's Greg the Stoic shaking his head no. Then the third panel is this squirrel, and it's dressed like Isaac would. And we see Greg the Stoic and Lighthammer standing next to Greg the Stoic, and they're both shaking their heads no.
That got me. Oh,
Ice squirrel.
And we turn the page from there, and we get a panel centered on the top of that finished skyscraper. And we see the like top of the building slide back on these hinges and open up. This large device come up out of the top and point this big barrel towards the moon. Our next panel, we see Dykstra step out onto the roof and walk over to our control panel and grin, and then pull a switch. And we see this big beam shine against the moon. Our next panel shows like the Earth pulled back, and we see the moon over 2 panels slowly moving closer to the Earth. And then we're going to jump centered on the team. Team, where are you all?
That is a great question that I have an answer to that's coming out right now. We are at... Nope, I got nothing.
Other members of team, where are you?
Wherever mommy says.
Oh my God.
I don't want to be at Lighthammer's apartment. We're always at Lighthammer's apartment.
Okay, how about this? Where out and about in the city are you on this evening?
We are at an ice skating rink. I think like this is another very public like photo opportunity for Lighthammer fans, but also I think a big part of Lighthammer is getting a sick glee out of watching Enki, who has probably never been on ice skates before, and is really hoping Enki is going to just fall everywhere.
Lighthammer's such a monster. Like a nice outdoor ice skating rink?
Yeah, like a really, really nice one. There's probably like a golden statue a la like the Times Square one.
Oh, excellent.
It's a statue of the Golden Scepter.
And Lighthammer, where are you in this panel? Let's just kind of get like an establishing shot, see where everyone's doing during this.
Oh, I'm fully not ice skating. I am like sitting on the bleachers watching people, but also just like surrounded by adoring fans.
Asimov?
I am in the middle of a triple spin flip thing.
That sounds real enough to me. And Inky, where are you in this scene?
I think I'm getting ready to go on the ice, but I'm really not feeling it. And I think I'm in this golden onesie ice skater costume.
Oh my god.
and I think Lighthammer is looking at me and expecting me like this will be so funny. And then I think the next panel, I actually go onto the ice, immediately fall, and like rip a giant hole in the suit at the knees.
Fantastic. I just want to get a Lighthammer reaction panel after that real quick. Because I think there's like you leaning forward, kind of almost pushing fans out of the way so you can see this happen.
I think there's a moment of like glee, and then like the mom instinct kicks in, and I like start to get up to be like, is he okay? But then I like pull back because I'm a cool mom. I'm not gonna like attack him. He'll let me know if he needs help. Lighthammer used to be a terrible person. It is now only a terrible person most of the time.
Aw. Character growth at a minimal level. And I think we get a couple more panels of Inky attempting to continue to skate. And Asimov, where are you and what are you doing when the moon lights up with your logo across it?
I think I'm just like skating circles around Enki, just kind of playfully being like, hey, come on, this is easy. Just totally ignoring the fact that I am using nanobots.
And I think we have this panel of Inky probably falling just flat on his ass again, and Brian skating up behind him when we see the moon just light up with a bright projected Asimov logo. And I think it's that point that everyone on the team notices the moon seems closer than it should and seems to slowly be moving closer still.
I think I get the first reaction and I point at the moon and go, "Oh my god, that's so cool, Brian. How did you do that?"
What? And I think I'd like to sort of pull on Enki and try to duck out of here.
I think I don't notice and look at Lighthammer and go, "Light, light, light. Look what Brian did."
I'd like to be just putting my hands in the wavy, like, don't, dummy, dummy, dummy.
Wait, people know that Asimov is called Brian, right? Or do I need to yell, wait, look, light, look what Asimov did?
That is a good question.
I think your identity is pretty secret.
Okay, in that case, I definitely yell, look what Asimov did.
I look up and I like blink, and then I turn to the people around me and I'm like, does that look bigger to anyone? And there are a couple people around, they're like, oh my god, it's so much bigger, it's so romantic. And I'm like, no, stop. Like, does that look bigger? For real?
I think the majority of this crowd is just oohing and awing over how cool it is that your teammates projecting their logo on the moon. I do not think they're noticing this, that it is bigger yet.
I like disentangle myself from all of them, and I'm like, just give me like one moment. And I like walk up to the side of the rink, and I'm like, Asimov, Enki, we should, go.
Yeah.
I think I yell, yes, please, kick off my skates, and then start walking over by like shooting vines and using them to get over the ice, destroying like the pristine ice skating ring.
Oh, that's so good.
They'll have to Zamboni the hell out of this.
Where are you all going?
I don't know, but I do not remember giving anybody an Asimov light thing.
It's called a gobo. I've got a couple of them. You can like put engrave. That's not the point. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Hey, Enki, could you like swing us over there Tarzan style? Could we get there a little bit faster? Or Brian, could you fly us? I can't move that fast, but we should get over there now.
Can you vine swing me to the moon?
We can see where the thing is being projected from, right?
No.
Ah.
Yeah, those other panels are panels only the readers saw.
Never mind.
I think we might need helmets for that.
I think we might need to get higher. Can someone climb or fly us just like straight up?
We turn the page and we see this overview shot of the city. And like far off, we can see that new tall skyscraper. And on the top of that skyscraper, we can see like this large sci-fi beam thing projecting this energy up at the moon. And we can see a figure, but it's too far away to make out any details. And then skyscraper closer to the reader, we see the three of you land on the roof. How do you all land on the roof? Give me panels of you, like, what are y'all looking like and how do you get up there?
Metal boot in the foreground.
You got your suit back?
Heck yeah, I just popped it on midair.
Fantastic. Is that like Iron Man, like nanotech style? Is that what you're going with on that?
It kind of grows like that.
Cool.
There was that whole long description in the Gun Wizard episode.
Right.
I think I'm going with like bullshit. Where do these vines actually go? Spider-Man type, swinging into frame.
Oh, I love that. Are you in a costume of sorts? I know you've gone through a couple different ones since you joined the team.
I think we had ice skating costumes on back in the ice skating ring, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think I'm going with loincloth with Asimov's logo on the back.
Oh my god.
It's like a little cape, a butt cape.
That's going to be the first Moon Harbor merch, an Asimov loincloth. Lighthammer, how do you arrive on the roof?
Well, I canonically cannot fly. So I think we get a cool panel of the two of them arriving, and then a moment later we see like the door behind them, like the service door, like swing open, and I'm standing there panting.
I love that.
Hands on your knees style.
Yep, 100%.
Oh, that's so good. And yeah, we've got the three of you up there. What are you all doing? Like looking out across this city?
I kind of feel like there should be a shot that's just framed so you see the Asimov logo on the loincloth and the moon in the same panel.
Oh, yes. And like maybe Asimov standing on the edge looking up at the moon. Like the loincloth's like way in the foreground.
Yeah, then like looking down at Enki and just looking kind of nervous.
I love that.
I also think that Enki used to have just very unkempt hair, and I think it slowly I think there's a new artist and he changed it to more like dreadlocks.
Okay, cool. I'm into it. Lighthammer, what are you doing after you catch your breath?
I go full like leader mode kind of immediately, and I'm like, okay, so the moon getting bigger, getting closer, weird sci-fi tractor beam laser thing going on. Okay. And then I'm going to look around and try to see if I can see like who is doing it, what is doing it, where that tractor beam is coming from, any of that.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll and assess. But you can clearly see like which building this tractor beam is built off of. Like it's towering above all the other buildings in Moon Harbor. It's the one that's been slowly being built in the last couple weeks. What are you doing to like look out across the city? Is there any tech here or?
I don't actually think there's any tech. I think we're at a high enough vantage point that I'm just like looking.
Can you see all the way across the city? Or like halfway across the city?
No.
I think it might be too far to make out any more details.
Yeah, and I don't have any like sort of like enhanced vision. I think instead I'm going to look over to the rooftop of that building and try to send like a sonic wave, like echolocation style, and try to at least get like a vague picture of who that person is from across the building or from across the city.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we get this panel seeing like your like sonar beams, like styled beams going out. Go ahead and roll to assess. All right, that's a 10. I'm not used to y'all being good at things.
My superior is a +3. Locked at a +3. Obviously what here is the biggest threat. And like preferably not like the moon is crashing into the world. Like I'd like to know who is doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get like, however this is shown in your readout, you pick up a figure made of a material that you've only seen in like one place before. It emits a very, very specific frequency when hit with your sonar. And this is definitely Dijkstra.
I look back from the sonar vision and I'm like, Asimov, this one's yours.
Of course it is.
And I think that triggers a move on the brain playbook. Sorry. Whenever you are confronted with your shame, either mark a condition or shift superior down and danger up.
Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
There it is. Either mark a condition or shift superior down and danger up. I am marking hopeless.
And I think we get the panel of the three of you on the edge of this tower looking out across. And we see, like, the distant shape of Dykstra pull a lever and this beam intensify and the moon start moving faster.
Can I ask my second question? How could we best end this quickly?
Destroy that machine.
I look at the two of them and I'm like, all right, you two can get over there faster than I can. So go start destroying the machine. I'll be there as soon as I can, unless someone wants to carry me.
I think the next panel shows where Brian and Enki were, and they're already gone.
I think at that point, there's a door that opens behind Lighthammer. In struts Greg, and Greg is muttering, "Oh my god, you would think these buildings have some sort of decent elevator. This is just terrible." And then he looks out and sees, like, no one but Lighthammer and goes, "Oh my god, where did he go now?"
I look at Greg and I'm like, you can't, like, fly or anything, right?
"No, but I can jump really far. Hop on." He seems really annoyed by the whole thing.
And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team. Who is the leader?
I am.
Everyone agree?
I think so.
Yeah.
Do you have influence over every teammate?
But he does not have influence over me. Somehow.
Nope, I do not have influence over Brian.
All right. Lighthammer, what is your purpose in the fight?
Destroy the thing, stop Dykstra.
Okay. Brian?
Destroy that fucking thing. And get my face off of there. My symbol.
That's valid. And Inky?
Whatever Brian's is the correct answer there.
That works. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team?
Not really at this point.
And is the team ill-prepared or off balance?
I don't think so. I think we're surprised by, like, the moon, but I don't think we're, like, any more ill-prepared or off balance than we usually are.
Yeah, that's totally valid. All right. Let's start this with Brian. Brian, when we turn the page, how do we see you getting towards this building and Dykstra?
I think I jumped off onto a flying robot that was conveniently placed.
Oh, awesome. Is it like Sky's skateboard style or like...
I jumped down right into the cockpit and my helmet already almost looks like it's got pilot goggles.
Oh, fantastic. As you get near, Dykstra like looks up and sees you. What do?
I am going to make a maneuver for the beam.
All right. Is there like a weapon on this thing? Or are you trying to like ram it?
Why would I put a weapon on a robot for protecting peace in the city?
Am I reading that right as a ram in it?
Hell yeah.
Cool. I think I'm going to have you directly engage. I think Dykstra is going to try and stop you with everything it can here.
Okay, so that is an 8. Taking the beam is just too easy. I'm going to actually resist or avoid their blows.
Okay, excellent. Tell me what it looks like when you like slip past Dykstra's defenses and actually manage to hit the beam. It's not going to destroy it completely, but it will slow it down.
I think there's a panel, you see a finger pressing a button, and then empty seats in the plane.
Oh, fantastic.
And just in the air, we've got like parachutes, or at least I've got a parachute. I don't know what Enki's got.
Oh, is Inky in that with you?
Is he?
Sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we see like the remnants of this flying drone wedge into the machine. We see sparks and then like a part of it lose power. And we definitely see like the color on the tractor beam get like less saturated and the moon slow down. And Dykstra has like stabbed right above where the seats are with this big blade made out of their arm. And we like get the next panel of the two of you floating down on your parachutes. Lighthammer, when we cut the panel to you, where are you and Greg the Stoic?
I think we're like at like the edge of a really large jump. And I think Greg is like, I can't do it. I'm like, no, but you have to do it. Like, we're too close, and I'm not running downstairs and up another set of stairs. Like, just jump. We're almost there.
Love that.
And I think as you're coaxing him to jump, like you're like one building away, you can see the two of them floating down from above. But back behind the building, far off, like a bit further back at the harbor itself, you start seeing these just massive waves starting to raise up as the moon's closer, and ships just start getting tossed by these waves. The situation over there is not currently threatening, but it is deteriorating quickly. So what do you do?
Oh, I don't know what I do. That's so many decisions that I have to make right now at this moment. I kind of want to assess again, but I think I'm not going to take the time. I'm going to make Greg jump. I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to like make like a high-pitched sound right behind his ear so he like gets spooked and then just jumps forward.
Where are you heading?
I'm trying to land on the building with the tractor beam on it. I figure if we can take down the tractor beam as quick as possible, then the harbor shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, cool. Give me an unleash. And yeah, you can use the Kirby Greg move if that's better.
Oh, sweet. I can use Superior? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's so much of a better roll than what would have been, I think, a -1. That's an 11.
That's an 11. All right. I think we get this shot of just you and Greg just gracefully clearing this leap.
I think the way this panel looks is we see, like, Greg start to take off, and then we get, like, a half page, like, full... Like, the top half of the page is all covered in this. And it's basically the shot from E.T. where they're on the bike, except it's me on a stag with the moon behind me, and then we land on the thing.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
There's definitely sparkles.
Yes, the big Asimov logo on the moon.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh, like little bits of your theme song wrapped around because you use the sonic energy to motivate Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excellent. And I think we see you land, and we get this shot that's just shot like through Greg's legs, and we see Dykstra spin to look. And hanging around his neck, I don't know who in the group would recognize it, but like readers would likely recognize the amulet of the Smiling Phoenix. I think Asimov would, but I think that's it.
Oh, I saw it inside. I saw it inside Carl's brain space, right?
Right. And I think you saw it, like, Carl use it to, like, pull up the Phoenix Fire once during a blockade fight, but only briefly, because it was when he took off to go save Bert.
You know,
And I'm going to toss some decisions to Inky and Brian here. Floating up in the air, you can either land on this building, but you both also see the waves escalating in the background. Where are each of you planning on landing?
So I'm planning on landing not right next to him because I want to make a speech.
Okay.
I'm mad at this guy.
Oh, excellent. I'm going to get to your speech in a sec. Inky, are you planning on landing on the building?
I'm definitely gliding by hanging on to an albatross, by the way.
Oh, excellent.
I think as I swoop in, I make my albatross poop on Dijkstra.
Excellent. Can we have you like drop onto the building next to like Greg the Stoic and Lighthammer?
Yup, sure.
Awesome. And I want to cut to Brian. Brian, where are you? I'll give you your moment here.
I like to be like 15 or so feet away from Dijkstra.
Do you want to be on the rooftop or do you want to be like landed up in the machine? Because you could easily safely have like a perch there if you wanted to be towering over.
What's the condition of the machine?
You're like robots stuck in a part of it, and there's like it's sparking and slowing down.
I mean, I think I want to hop out onto the rooftop.
Okay, cool.
And not start walking towards him yet, but I just want to shout at him, "Hey, you take that down. That's not yours." And then look down at the amulet. And that's not yours either.
Dijkstra grins as much as a like liquid metal evil AI can grin and touches the amulet. And you see just the tiniest bit of fire like spark between the amulet and its fingers. It says, "We're becoming such good friends, though."
Well, I'm afraid that'll have to end.
Dijkstra kind of like hooks one thumb into like the chain around the amulet, like lifts it off its chest a little bit. He goes, "Do you want to take it for yourself?"
Doesn't belong to me either. You know who it belongs to.
Oh, right. Your dead friend.
I'd like to directly engage a threat.
What do you do?
I'm just gonna send as much sonic energy directly at Dykstra as I can. Like, this is not, I'm not holding back. I think I'm like pointing the hammer and just sending the blast of sound at it.
You can absolutely do that. I am going to throw out that it's standing between you and the machine. If this goes badly, it might go really badly. But yeah, go ahead and roll to directly engage.
Yeah, no, I'm too mad.
Yep, fair.
That's a 9 if someone wants to bump it up. We have 14.
Oh, I am charging right in.
Awesome. Are you like swinging your sword or?
I am springing my sword that is now, you might not be able to see it that well, but there's some venom trailing from the tip.
Oh, fantastic. And so you're spinning a team to push that to a 10?
Yep.
Cool. Lighthammer, give it the options and tell me what it looks like.
Definitely impressed, surprising, or frightening the opposition. Lighthammer has shown a lot of restraint when dealing with Dykstra in the past. It's been a lot of like really smart fighting. But this is just like unleashing the full extent of my powers. And I think I'm gonna create an opportunity for my allies. I see Brian coming in and I wanna knock him off balance so Brian can get a good hit in. Or so Enki can like come in as the third there.
So you hit Dykstra, and I think Brian swings this sword. And Brian, you want to just take off an arm? You go with that?
Sure.
Cool. And like we see Brian swinging the sword in this like clash of energies panel, and Dykstra goes flying backwards, like embedding into the machine, just with the pure energy of the blow. And we see the one of Dykstra's arms land on the ground and start to just ooze into like a formless liquid metal, parts of it still smoking from the acid. We then see Dykstra start to dissolve into a liquid into the machine. Inky, if you want to do something to stop that, you have enough time to do that.
I think I'm going to try to shoot like a vine in there to try and untangle the two of them.
Awesome. Because of the just how off guard this all caught Dykstra, you can absolutely stop him from going into the machine completely. And if you want to unleash your powers, you can try to pull him back out of it.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm going for, like shooting a vine and then wrapping it around them and then pulling on it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, go ahead and roll to unleash.
Also, as Lighthammer is shooting out all the sound, you can see Greg wincing, and there's like a telepathic bubble with Enki where Greg goes, "You owe me sushi for this," and Enki sends back telepathically, "Fine, but can we get like a place this time that cooks the fish?" So that's an 11. Yay.
All right. And I think we get several like fairly slow dramatic panels of Dykstra being very slowly drug out of this machine. And in the last couple of these panels, we see fire emanating off of the amulet starting to try and burn their way through the vines. The vines seem to smolder, but don't ever actually burn through. And then we see Dykstra being pulled all the way out of the machine and falling onto the ground in front of it. What are you all doing?
When the fire starts smoldering the vines, I think we get another Easter egg where Enki looks puzzled. And it's like a shot of the smiling phoenix and Enki looking puzzled like, wait, why is this familiar?
If you are interested in rolling a Pierce the Mask, you could probably discern something from that energy while it's touching your vines. It's up to you, though.
Sure, we've not done anything like that. Let's do that. That sounds like fun. And that's a 2. Enki has no clue what this means.
So we get this panel of the vines pulling taut, and then we see Dykstra starting to slip out, and it ends up in a heap on the ground in front of the machine. Lighthammer, Asimov, is it okay if I assume you've stepped like over top of him at this point?
Yeah.
And the like vines trailing off to like taut still to Inky, and we see the fire like stretching up further and further. And I think we get a shot of Inky's face, and then we turn the page, and we see the grove, and you standing just in the middle of it, except it's much darker and monochrome than we've ever seen it. And then we see the like smiling phoenix just rising up behind you. And I'm going to give you a choice. If you want to ask a question off the list, okay, there's going to be consequences to this no matter what. If you want to ask a question off the list, I'll answer it, but you'll take a powerful blow when this scene's done.
I mean, I kind of feel like leaning into it because this is fun. I think the question I'm going to ask is, what do you intend to do? But the way that Enki voices it, it's just, who are you?
And we see that like trademark just grin of the Phoenix. And behind the Phoenix, just like shadowed by the light, we see the figure of Namshub. And then behind Namshub, we see this towering, shadowy figure that we don't see any clear shape for yet. And I'm not going to answer this like directly, but to you as a player, Inky now knows that these three are the council, and they all share the same goal of corrupting Inky.
Yay! Fun times.
And then I think we see Inky like blink his eyes tight together, and I want you to roll a powerful blow as we come back to the present.
That's a 9.
All right, so you can pick one off the 7 and 9 list.
I want to go with lash out verbally, and I think I want to provoke Brian into taking foolhardy action with that, but I'm trying to figure out what the verbal lash out would be. Can it just be Enki just crying out in pain?
Yeah, if you want, I could say that like the fire is starting to zip up the vines faster and faster, like towards you.
Yeah, something like that. And I cry out in pain. I'm not sure if that would trigger Brian in this specific. I think it would, right? I think that works.
Yes, it would. I think I am going to, in reaction to that, I am going to already play my trump card, and I'm going to bite Dykstra.
All right.
I was not going to bite him before. I was going to keep that a secret from him.
Give me an unleash.
So that's an 8.
All right. Would you like to mark a condition, or would you like me to tell you how it's unstable or temporary?
I would like you to tell me how it's unstable or temporary.
I think we get this panel from like Dykstra, behind Dykstra's shoulder, like over Dykstra's shoulder, as it's starting to pull itself up, and the fire is just pushing up in these vines towards Inky. We see like Inky screaming out, and then Brian just running up and latching on with your fangs in Dykstra's shoulder. And then we see Dykstra just poof. And like through the portal stuff, the same way we've seen other things disappear into your maw. And there's this weird, uncanny moment of silence. And I don't think anyone sees this other than the readers, but we get a shot of Brian's face. And behind Brian's pupils, for just a moment, we see like the flames of the Phoenix burning.
Yo.
That's going to be a big old nope for me as a reader there.
Of course, Brian has no idea of this.
Yeah, none of us do.
Excellent.
This yikes can only be described as rotund.
I also like that none of us, myself included, know where the hell Brian's portals lead, except that they occasionally come back up.
They're actually there's a research team in Moon Harbor working on them, and their best guess at this point is that it's kind of like the space below your seat in a car.
That sounds about right.
While all that's going on, once like down and it looks like everything's being taken care of, I'm gonna go put my hands like on either side of the machine and just start doing that like really controlled sonic vibration. And I'm trying to like vibrate the machine apart like I vibrated Dykstra's previous machine apart, and just see what I can do with that.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an unleash. That is an 8.
I'm gonna mark a condition.
What you marking?
I'm angry. I'm like, fuck this stupid supervillain bullshit. Like, this is so over the top, and over the top is kind of my aesthetic, and I'm annoyed.
Fantastic.
As I'm doing that, I already started the process. I hope that we didn't have to push the moon back before we took the machine apart.
Nah, you're fine.
Okay.
I think we see, like, as these pieces of this machine start falling off and the intensity of the beams get less and less, we see the moon drifting back into its position. Because that's how it works in space.
So, we gotta get this fucker to a safe place.
I think in our next panel, we see Greg the Stoic step up behind Inky, who's just kind of shaking, and do a little stag clearing of his throat and go, I don't want to be that stag, but I think something's wrong here.
I think maybe as a bonus, maybe Enki has I think it was white eyes that we did last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got white eyes again.
I am pacing around in a circle, just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Oh god, oh god. Gotta find a place, gotta find a place.
And Lighthammer, I think we see the machine behind you deactivate completely at this point.
Cool. I look between my two teammates and I'm like, is everyone okay?
I think as Lighthammer says that, I rush by, like, sort of knocking him out of the way, although he's a lot heavier than me, so I guess maybe not.
I'm not gonna, like, stop you from knocking past me. I'll just, like, chill a little bit. You can knock me aside.
Yeah, boy, running.
I'm gonna look at Greg and be like, grab Enki, and okay, I'm gonna get Brian.
All right. I think the last panel on this is you heading off in the direction Brian went, and Greg the Stoic, like, picking Inky up by the scruff of the neck with his little stag mouth. And when we turn the page, where do we find everyone?
So much of me wants to say my apartment, but we've already discussed that my apartment is not safe anymore. So
I think you'd still probably have access to, like, the Rider estate and the tech there if the Riders were out of town.
yeah, I feel like Leo probably gave me, like, a key to, like, water their plants, which, like, I didn't do because I figured if they died, Enki could just bring them back right before they got back from out of town.
So my proposal is that it's at the Rider estate, and maybe Asimov is in the background freaking out, looking through tech, trying to find something to contain Dykstra. Does that feel right? Occasionally burping and, like, just, okay.
I'm looking back and forth between my two idiot children, and I'm like, okay, so does anyone want to tell me why everyone is freaking out? What's going on, y'all?
Ooh, I can start. So big scary forest. The Flameo dude was there, but also like Slip Slop. It was scary.
I very briefly look up Slip Slop.
Yeah, the librarian villain we faced.
I'm already back to searching through junk.
You mean Namshub?
Yeah, that's the one. Also, maybe a third person. I don't know.
Wait, I'm sorry. Namshub was Namshub Flameo or Slip Slop?
Nemshop is Slip Slop. Names.
So who is Flameo?
You see a big magnetic arc fly over your head.
Flameo is the guy we just fought, of course. The I don't know. Flameo?
Wait, I didn't see any fire. Who had fire? The Dykstra doesn't normally do fire. What are you talking about?
There was fire, like, part of Dijkstra, and the fire was in my Dark Forest.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
I think these might be the people that Poison Oak warned us about. That's my feeling.
I mean, warned you about, but it's fine. I'm not bitter about it. Whatever, it's not a big deal.
And then I think I turn around and look at Brian and go, Brian, are you okay?
Now there's sort of a metal containment thing, sort of 5 sides of a box without the top, and some electrical arcs going on in there, and I'm just sort of looking at it like, what is this missing? What is this missing?
I yell at Brian, Brian, this is your villain. Why does he have Flameo inside?
It's a long story. Plastic. I start rummaging, or I start taking apart whatever is the nearest thing next to me that is made of plastic and somewhat malleable.
It's like a Rider branded treadmill.
So Enki looks at Lighthammer and goes, "See, Brian knows what's going on. He'll tell us later. He's dependable like that."
We'll get to the fire guy eventually.
For the last time, what fire guy?
I really don't have time to answer that.
Okay, so if I'm understanding everything correctly, Brian bit Dykstra. Dykstra is now inside Brian. Brian is going to vomit up Dykstra any minute and is trying to contain it. And Enki, you think that Flamio, Slipslop, who is actually Namshub, and somebody else are there to take you down and take over your energy. Am I understanding everything correctly so far?
Thanks for explaining to our readers. What is this? What is this, a comic book?
Editor's note. Asimov, you need to hang out with AV less.
I'm just not used to being the person who knows the least in a room. And I look at Brian and I'm like, okay, how can we help?
Brian completely ignores the question. Almost insultingly. He's now putting some kind of lid on the box.
I look at Enki and I'm like, okay, how can I help you?
I'm not sure what this means, but since... Wait, I'll get it right this time. Since Whamslop tried to take me last time, maybe this time it'll be Flamio? I don't know.
Okay, so we protect you, make sure nobody takes you. That sounds kind of standard and like what we do pretty much every day. My job is to keep protecting the two idiot children. Great, of course, I'm here. All right, I'm gonna...
And I think in the background of Lighthammer's little diatribe there, we see Asimov portal expel Dykstra into the box.
So, kind of like a picture, like you got, like in Yoshi's Island where you can get those watermelons and then you shoot out watermelon seeds.
Yeah.
So, a little bit nicer sight than last time. It's more like an onomatopoeia like chook, and just a shapeless form is flung at the corner of the box, and some digital dust, and there's Dykstra, and I slam the lid of the box.
Oh, fantastic. And I think our last panel is like the Dykstra not taking the full shape of form, but spreading out enough that it's at least clear to the readers that the amulet did not come back out.
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets, T.B. Huth, and Elliot Peterson, and edited by Anthony Sheets and Sean Geddes. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at icynewyear.com. T is a theater artist and educator in the DC area. She can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter or TPHuth94 on Instagram. Elliot can be found at Elliot Yellen on Twitter. That's ELLIOTYLEN. Sean can be found at The Crumpit, THECRUMPIT on Twitter. Moon Harbor Heroes is played using Masks: A New Generation, written by Brendan Conway and produced by Magpie Games. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or on Patreon at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music in this issue is Black Vortex by Kevin MacLeod. This issue is GM'd by Anthony Sheets. Asimov is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at itsexphp on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Enki is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him as at Gilbereka, GILBERREKE on Twitter. Lighthammer is played by T. Huth. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice or tell a friend. 5-star reviews and word of mouth are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out at patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus issues each month. And thank you for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.
Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Faces, issue 44, Putting the Moon in Moon Harbor. On the cover, we see a pulled back shot. It's the dumbest title ever. Okay.